Welcome back to Poppy versus America, where I am attempting to cook and rate some of America's best dishes. And today, I'm trying biscuits and gravy, which, if you said here in the UK, you'd imagine a rich tea dipped in some bisto. Biscuits and gravy. Okay, this is a quintessential American dish of a savoury biscuit, which in the UK would probably call it a scone, which is like a heavy, quite dense, what's that? I don't know, round. And then it's a sausage meat sauce gravy, which is usually quite pale, quite creamy and spiced quite heavily. It is exciting to try this. I have tried it in America before. I'm interested to try making it, because if you said biscuits and gravy to someone in the UK here, you'd be thinking about a digestive and a bit of bisto, which is two very different things which you would not put together. So, biscuits and gravy. Starting off with the biscuits, again, so in the UK, we have scones or scones, however posh you want to be, which are basically this, but they're normally sweeter. You get fruits in them or you get sugars in them, but you can also get a cheese one, which is actually delicious as well. But it's essentially a very, very similar dough, which is quite hard and quite crumbly. So in here we've got some plain flour or all-purpose flour, a little bit of bicarb, a little bit of baking powder, and a pinch of salt, which I've already thrown in, and then some buttermilk, which we're just going to mix through. That will give it that sort of lighter texture, but also bring it into a dough. And it gives it that kind of, a little bit of like soury tartness, which you kind of want from a savoury biscuit. It's quite fun making biscuit. I haven't made scones in years, since like school. So that brings the dough together, and then you kind of knead through butter. Now the key to anything that's kind of a crumbly, doughy kind of texture is to make sure that you don't melt the butter into the dough itself. So we're gonna throw the butter in nice and cold, and what it does is the butter protects the molecules and also then expands and makes air bubbles, which makes it fluffy and crumbly. Maybe I'll knead it with a spoon, with a spatula for a hot minute. Because you usually do the breadcrumb, where you kind of use your fingertips just to get the butter through, but I'm gonna knead it with this. I get a bit more flour out, but I really like the texture, seems to be really good. So it's a little bit different to what a British scone recipe would be. Also just realised I said this is plain flour, but it's actually self-raising flour, which I think in the US, you use it cake flour. I think it might be cake flour in the US, but I'm not 100% sure. Please, if you do know, let me know. I'm going to try and properly knead it. It says knead on the recipe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's easier if you shred in your butter. Sometimes if you want to get butter into stuff, you can like grate cold butter into it. Because these cubes aren't going to, I'm going to smush them. I'm going to smush them down. Again, perseverance, just keep trying. Eventually it will be right. The butter's in, but it is quite lumpy. But again, I do think that the butter does help it. You are meant to have a buttery biscuit because it helps puff it up with the steam. So I'm gonna go with it. But as I feel it, there is some big old lumps of butter. Delicious. Butter biscuits. Okay, I'm gonna roll it into a nice dough, and then I'm going to flatten it out. You can just flatten it out with your hands and get the kind of height that we want, which we want to make about 2 biscuits out of this, I think. That seems about the right height. So I'm going about 1/2 inch thick. See if I can get these to, that's 2 different ones. I feel like in the US, bigger is bigger, isn't it? Bigger is better. Everything's bigger, so I'm going to go for the large one. Get away. That's one. There's one. And then let's get at least one more out and see if I can get one more out of it just for spares. Okay, they go into, I'm gonna egg wash them. Savoury dishes, always egg wash in pastry, but sweet dishes, you never egg wash, you just do like an apricot glaze. And if you wanna do a really good egg wash, just do egg yolks and then wash it, put it in the fridge for an hour, wash it again, put it in the fridge for an hour, wash it, wash it, wash it. And then you get this beautiful, delightful glaze, which does make a massive difference. I don't want to jinx it, but these are good. These look really good. So they're going to go in to the oven, which is preheated at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 390, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And they cook for like 20 minutes or so. Ta-da! They are going for a little bake. Biscuits are in, they look massive already. And then we're gonna make the sausage meat. So I've got some sausage meat here, which is about 500 grams. It's got a lovely fat content to it. And then you spice it up. So I think it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. Sage always goes very well with pork. Good bit of sage in there. Bit of ginger. I'm just eyeballing it because I think in reality it's probably about a teaspoon, half teaspoon of each. Bit of mixed herbs, bit of cayenne pepper for spice, and a bit of paprika, bit of smoked paprika. And a little bit of nutmeg. I love a bit of fresh nutmeg. And again, yeah, sausage always has a bit of nutmeg in. It's kind of one of its flavours. We were in Seattle a few years ago and we went to Biscuit Bitch, which is a biscuits and gravy kind of shop. And it was so, because again, we don't really have anything like this in the UK at all. But so biscuits really aren't a thing here. We have our scones with jam and clotted cream and a cup of tea. So biscuits is not something that we do. So we had them in Seattle and they were so good, but so rich. And we got one like original one with like the sausage gravy. And then we had like a sweet one as well, like a honey one. But we ordered two basically. And we had about a quarter of one of them. We could not finish them because they are just huge. And that's something about the US, is that your portion sizes are outrageous. Brilliant, but outrageous. Pork, herbs, spices, black pepper, a bit of salt. And then we're gonna fry it off with a little bit of butter. And then we make a roux with, okay, lovely, brilliant. Bit of salt. Get this frying off. It's time for some diner lingo. I'm gonna learn some new words that you might use in America, I don't know. Starting with rabbit food. That's salad, surely. That's what everyone says about a bit of salad on the side, a bit of rabbit food. Lettuce, okay, cool. Lettuce, there we go. Got that one. A hockey puck is I've heard of a hockey puck. Is a burger? Is a beef patty? Is a patty burger? A well done burger. Number 3, Eve with a lid. Eve with a lid. Eve with a lid. A naked woman with a lid. Apple pie. Apple pie. Yes! Eve with a lid. Apple pie is quite good. It's a bit like Cockney. It's a bit like, yeah, I like it. Okay, number 4. Make it cry. It's going to be rare. A rare steak or meat, it's got to be juicy, isn't it? Make it cry, it's going to be bloody. Blue. Salt. Oh, you're adding onion to steak. Oh, so make it cry. So steak with onions. That's clever. make it cry. Yeah, I love that. Well, there you go, there's your 4 new lingos of the day. So we've got about 30 grams of butter, which is going to be it's going to be the base of our roux, but it's also going to cook the sausage meat in it as well. I feel like I've got to crumble this a little bit, really, haven't I? It's not patties, it's like it's a little bit like a meat sauce gravy. This feels like a lot of butter and fat. I don't say that very often, but this does feel like quite a lot. I'll just get it in and smash it up. This is what I imagine, like, you know, like Hannibal Lecter. That's what I feel like human flesh probably looks like. That is absolutely rank. It will be lovely though, it's going to go nice and brown and sausagey. It's a lot of butter. It smells lovely though. It smells like lovely, delicious sausage and butter. From what I can remember, it's quite crumbly in the sauce itself. You get these lovely little crumbles of very well cooked kind of caramelised sausage. Oh, it's getting there. It's getting there, guys. I'm going to leave it alone so it gets some colour. No fear, the sausage is here. That's what she said. And then we've got our, to make a roux it's a fat, it's flour, and then it's milk, and that's it. That's quite, to be fair, I've got to say, considering it's something baked and also a sauce, it's quite an easy recipe. And I believe it's more of like a breakfast dish. In the US, if anyone is here from the US, do you have biscuits with dinner as well? Like, is it like fried chicken and biscuits and gravy as well? Because that sounds really good. Again, we don't really have this sort of stuff here. Maybe we should start. Oh, these are the biscuits. They're cool. So, you know I was saying about the butter being very, very thick? You can see where it's getting hot. When I put them into the oven, there was a big lump of butter there. So you can see where it's expanded, melted, and disappeared. So that's what we're saying about air bubbles. So if you get it all the way through the mixture, you end up with this air bubble happening from the steam from the butter melting, and then the butter melts into the mix. So you get these air bubbles and pockets. This one had lots of lovely butter around. I mean, they look pretty good. Get these off so that they go crispy on the bottom. So into here, my spitting sausages, is a bit of flour, which is going to make that base of the roux. It's going to sop up all the fat and help thicken everything. And whenever you're making a roux, make sure that you cook it out long enough. It takes a while. Don't just think that's done now. Let it cook. Because otherwise you get like a texture of, you can taste like flour. We don't want to taste flour, we want to taste sausage. I've never thought about making a gravy with meat in it, or making a sauce with the meat already in there, but this is delicious. Okay, I'm happy. I think that's probably cooked out enough now. And then we add milk bit by bit. But yeah, milk and sausage does feel a little bit illegal, doesn't it, really? There's something that doesn't feel quite right, but once the milk's kind of cooked out, it's just making a sauce. It's not that bad. I suppose you'd have butter we've had a lot of butter with sausage. And I think, you know, when you look at different recipes, if you look at a traditional bolognese, which is more pork and beef, they always put milk in it. Thickens and creams up the sauce a little bit. Gives it a nice texture. You can see every time I add a bit of milk, it just gets absorbed, and that's what the flour's there to do. It makes a lovely thick sauce. This smells really nice, actually. You know what? This takes me back to when I did beat Bobby Flay. Right, and I nearly beat him. I actually nearly beat him the one time. I did it twice. I didn't on the second time. I really bombed. But the first time you compete against another chef. I beat him, and then I went on through to try and beat Bobby Flay. And They wanted something like traditional British, so we did bangers and mash. And I made my own sausages. So the week before we went, I went into a butcher's, learned how to tie the sausages, bought a mincer for the KitchenAid and started mincing sausages and all that sort of stuff and practicing. But in the last few seconds of the competition, right, for some reason, and this is how my mind works, instead of leaving the sausages whole, I thought, oh, there's not going to be enough sausages for each plate, so I'll cut them in half. But I cut them in half lengthways, so you lose the lovely, the casing of the sausage. And I lost, mainly because of that. That's literally what the judges said, because the sausage texture was strange because I'd cut them in half lengthways. But imagine, I could have beat Bobby Flay. I could have beat him. And the next time I went on, I just was too nervous and I failed miserably. I've got to say, I've done a few American TV cooking competitions. I haven't had a good experience with it. I'm not a cooking competition person. I'm more of a stand here and let me tell you about this recipe sort of person. The timings, I hate it. It's so scary. And everyone's, like, American TV is very much cooking competition. They're very, you guys love a cooking competition. You love a Jeopardy. I don't think I'm cut out for it. Not that I don't think, I'm actually not cut out for it because I've lost every single thing that I've ever been on. Okay, we're almost there. A couple of minutes to let that thicken up again. And we can start plating everything. I think you cut these open, don't you? Cut them open, load it on top. So I'm gonna get a plate and then we'll get it all together. So let's see how the biscuits are. I mean, I hope they're all right. Ooh. There's a nice bit of butter in there as well. I think probably need bigger biscuit next time. I'll do a bit. I think it needs to be a bit heftier because there's a lot of sauce. I'm going to do the British plating of what the sausage and biscuits are, which is going to be a little bit more dainty, I think, in comparison. Which is about that. I don't think I can get much more on there without it completely all-encompassing the biscuits. We'll do a little bit of salt and pep. Make it look pretty. Oh, I'm excited to eat this because the smell of it is beautiful. I know it's going to taste nice. I can't think of what this would be similarly to anything British, but if you do know, if you have anything that you eat in a different part of the UK that's something similar to this, let me know because I'd like to try that as well. But this is sausage and biscuits, right? Sexy shots and then we can eat. So I have put on a little bit of chive for health, a little sprinkle of green because I thought it needed something, but that's about it. I'm excited. This smells so good. And like I said, I've had it similar before, so I think I'm gonna probably enjoy this. But it is rich. That biscuit looks good, actually. It's very buttery. Cheers. That is good. I think I could have gone a bit harder on the spices for the sausage meat itself. That's a me thing. That's not the dish. The dish is good because it's crunchy, soft, buttery biscuit and then this rich, herby, sausagey bechamel sauce, which does work. It's just very, very heavy and rich. It's good. For this dish, I might add a bit of ketchup, would be quite nice with it. Would you have ketchup with it? I feel like a little bit of acidic sauce would go really well with it. Anyway, for this, a solid rating of probably an 8 out of 10. Maybe an 8 point something out of 10, 8.6 out of 10, purely because it is very heavy and very rich. And I am going to struggle, and I would struggle eating a whole plate of it. And this is the British kind of pulled back version. But it is. It's definitely one way to start the day. Okay,
Anyway, come through Biscuits and Gravy. Third place so far in my list of America's signature dishes. A lovely, rich, hearty breakfast. And there's nothing quite like it here in Britain. Maybe I need to start adding it to my brunch list.
Remember, if you do enjoy watching all of this, if you like it, do give me a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to see next from all around the Americas.